Welcome once again to the PSL headquarters as we preview the Nedbank Cup quarter-final fixture, which will be the third quarter-final of the weekend, and it will take place at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in the Eastern Cape, and we're joined by the away team coach from Sekhukhune United, that is Coach Brandon Truter, to just preview this fixture. Coach, if we can just start maybe with just opening remarks. You said you're rushing to a training session, probably the most important one now, because you should be traveling, I think, on Friday or Saturday. But your thoughts heading into that fixture, an opportunity, to progress and make history for Sekhukhune United by going through to the semi-final.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky game for us. Considering also Chippa played last night. Yes, it was a negative result for him, but at the same time also it's a new coach for him again. So for us tactically we have to prepare for every scenario, and also we came out of our game against Maritzburg a bit bruised. So it was getting for now it's about getting the guys fit, healthy. Because there is some guys that picked up injuries in that game. We would like to feel the strongest team, of course, against Chippa. It's their home game. I have to look at the data or the analysis from last night as well, and then prepare from there. Right now, I'm rushing off to a video session, and so it will be interesting to see what changes they have made, or which one do they prefer to go for in, whether it's the cup game or the league, which they are involved in a relegation scrap now, so they have to weigh up the options and see which one they will generate or push all the resources into.
All right, let's take questions from the floor, just by a show of hands. I'll take the first question. Let's start with Mazola.
Coach Bakis, can I get your thoughts on, obviously, you mentioned preparation and video sessions, but what are you going to look at given what's happened at Chippa now? The last game you played, the league game, it was Kurt, and now it's Coach Sia, and who knows, in a couple of days could be someone else. Does it make it difficult to prepare? And what do you make of the merry-go-around within not just the Chippa, but within the Premier Soccer League itself? Because you yourself have also moved around quite a bit.
Yeah, on the first part of that question, it is a bit tricky preparing for Chippa. The new coach might have his own ideas about how he wants to approach the game, but at the same time, I think for both clubs, it's an opportunity to progress to the semi-finals, and that itself will motivate the players. But we can't just depend on the want and the will to win. We have to look at their strategies and the weaknesses and also the strengths as well, and then formulate the plan from there. But on the second part of the question, of course, for coaches preparing and wanting to build a philosophy and wanting to build the identity with the club and ultimately contribute to Bafana, contribute to football in South Africa, it's a bit difficult with having so little time to build things, but and to, how can I say now, to actually be a bit comfortable or a bit focused on listen, I have a 3-year plan and I'm not worried about getting fired in the next 3 games or anything like that, so that you can build something. But that's relationships, that's playing styles, that's identity and atmosphere and a culture at the club. In South Africa, at this moment, the coaching merry-go-round is not good for our football. Players have to adapt very quickly. Sometimes it's result driven, and you can't really help potential and talented players to develop. You have to focus on getting the next result, and that's about it. Yes, we are in a result driven industry, but the supporters and club owners want winning football, attractive football. Some of us were fired because we're not playing the most attractive brand of football yet getting results. And then some of us are playing very good football, but the results is not forthcoming. So it's a tricky situation that we as coaches find ourselves in.
Okay, let's move on to Vuyo.
Thanks, Fadi. Good morning, Coach. Vuyo from Newsroom Africa. Predictors, Coach, when it comes to especially tournaments like this or matches, going to matches like this, they would look at how the team is performing in the league and sort of then predict whether, in this case, Sekhukhune would easily win against Chippa United. How much do you read into those statistics, or are you very much wary of looking into them, especially, I mean, for a team like Chippa as well, despite how they perform in the league, they would feel that moving to the first round of beating Sekhukhune could bring that success or sort of feel that forward. How much do you read in those sort of predictor stats?
I think where we are sitting, first and foremost, you need to see that it's a cup game, and I think the All Stars has proven it in this tournament that anybody is capable of beating anybody. And even the log table goes out the window. I think also the log indicates this season that it's very tight. I think from fifth down to the bottom one, it's bumper to bumper. So anybody can beat anybody. Chippa at this moment possesses a lot of good individuals in the team, some exciting young talent as well, and I'm sure they would want to win. For us, it's to guard against complacency, saying that we can't look at the log table going into this game. We have to be mentally focused, not get anxious, not get nervous about the occasion as well, and just play the match. We did very well against them in the league game. Yes, it was a draw, but I think the performance was very good. But this game, it's their own game. We're going to P, we have to travel as well, and I'm sure they also fancy the chances against us.
Okay, let's move on to my right-hand side. I saw a few hands there. Let's start with Kamu, Velile. I've also noted Lorenz.
Thanks, Sergeant Coach. Was just to continue my question from my colleague Vuyo. I mean, you come from a win against Nedbank and Chippa United are wounded. Do you think that with the game that you come from, were you given enough test going into the game against Chippa?
Yeah, the Chippa game, Kurt was in charge. The structure was good against us. They knew what they were coming for that game. I think the objective was a draw. They sat back quite long in that game. So I think getting a draw, Chippa getting a draw away from home, they fancy the chances, now we don't. Going into this game, it's tricky playing Chippa. If you look at the games that we analyzed, that we looked past before last night as well, there's some very good moments which they displayed. They have some individuals that can turn a game. Labitso, there's so many. Indy as well, September, the young boy Giovanni, Igorua. It's players that can really turn a game, and some individual brilliance that can turn a game in their favor. But we have to focus, we have to fancy ourselves as well. Maritzburg wasn't at all an easy game. The same can be said for their personnel at their disposal. I think they have a very good strike force in Friday Samu and Sakuna as well. And then the midfield, the likes of Travis Graham, Palace, it's a very good team. So I think we were tested. We are getting tested as well in every game. But for us, it's about the improvement. It's about the structure. It's about the confidence and the relationship between the players. Players to technical team as well. Right now we in a good space. The spirit in the team, the attitude of the players, I can't fault them for anything. Myself as well. Right now going to training, it's my happy space at the moment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game.
Okay, Velile.
Thank you, Coach. Velile from SABC here. I just want to go back to the first question from my colleague Mazola and how you responded to it. And it's an interesting thing that you're talking about, the coaching changes and how they happen. But as someone who's been in football, and not just in the Premier Division, but even at amateur level. Do you think maybe from how the clubs are operated, we are missing where there's proper football projects, where you would be dealing with a technical director, someone who's more technical, and also now some of the coaching changes and how they happen, and even how you're talking about how you explained to about not playing a certain brand of football. A football project is explained properly to you, and you're dealing purely with technical matters and not issues that are just aside.
Yeah, look, in the ideal football scenario where the coach comes in, the coach, or in Europe as they call it, the manager, would have control over everything. A coach must be able to relate to the medical team, the conditioning team, the marketing department, the media. Sponsors want to get involved, so we have to control as much as we can. Going into a football match, it's just not about that game. The psychology part, you need to manage players with the social aspects as well. So for us, yeah, the technical, tactical plan, there's a lot of outside influences that you also have to be mindful about. We do not get the credit at times that we deserve, because at one moment a coach has to deal with 30 players, all different cultures, different attitudes, different personalities, different problems. And when that problems comes to the training field and come into matches, it affects performance, and that's what we call principles of performance. So one game, yeah, it takes a lot out of you. The stresses that you're also getting from supporters, getting from the owners as well, it's immense. And I think the football supporter or the football person that looks at football just looks at the training and the match. For us to build a culture, to build identity, to build a philosophy, it has to bind with what the club wants as well. I think we were making a mistake is that giving a coach come in with his identity instead of marrying the two, the club's the club's philosophy as well as a personal philosophy. I think that's get neglected. And then you have technical directors, you have in South Africa, you have football managers as well that has not participated at the highest level, neither nor playing or coached, and you have to give and you have to hear their opinion and then formulate and make them happy as well. And at the same time as well, I think the media also plays a big part in getting coaches fired. Supporters react to articles, so owners react to articles, and I've been there and seen that. So yeah, it's a lot that the individual takes just coaching a PSL team.
Interesting. The part about the media. Lawrence?
Coach, I spoke to Kamo in the week. Obviously, he was 14 years in Europe, played at the highest level. And he says there's a lot of talent in Sekhukhune and the PSL in general, but what's lacking is maybe professionalism outside and inside of the field. Do you think you've made some significant changes in the mentality of the squad since you've arrived there? Because he did speak highly of you. He said you're very a family man, and you make them happy, and you're a very intelligent coach as well.
Oh, thank you, Kamo. The quality, the professionalism of Kamo rubs off on everybody. What he brought to the team. Yes, he came back from a long-term injury. We had to bring him along carefully. Let's put it that time. He completed his first 90 minutes against Maritzburg, and you can see the quality. I think he's one of the best sixers in the country, deep line playmakers. But his attitude towards his work, towards football, it's on another level. And at times, players also, some of his teammates just sit back and observe him. The extras, whether it's on the field or off the field, in terms of analysis, in terms of I need to do more, I need to look after my game. It amazes me at times because I don't see it all the time in South African football. The qualities possessed, I think that was evident against Maritzburg, and then upon our post-match analysis, he also said it's not yet 100%. And I can't then wait to see him at 100% because it was a truly great performance he gave against Maritzburg. I'm sure if he continues on this part as well, he might get a look in for Bafana again and hopefully go to the AFCON. But he brings along the young guys in the squad nicely, and also gives advice to the more senior players as well. 14 years in Europe is no joke. You're away from family. It's a different environment, different climate as well. And for him to leave South Africa at such a young age, but coming back to South Africa and now seeing the potential and the talent that is here in South Africa, we have to ask ourselves where we're going wrong, because from outside he couldn't understand what was happening when he wasn't available for Bafana and he wasn't playing. Why we're not qualifying, why we're not winning games. But with him seeing now the potential and the talent available to us, he also asked me that question, Coach, what is wrong that we not achieving the levels we should be achieving?
Coach, Swallows and Amazon is one of the big teams in South African football, and yet your predecessors were either sacked or redeployed. But also, maybe what does that say about the management that we have within South African football? That are they people in the business for a long-term project, or just that they want immediate results? Because both teams started off well, getting the wins, and yet when there were challenges, they were quick to actually let you go.
Yeah, it's a tough one to answer right now because of me being involved with Sekhukhune and the past employers. There's some trade secrets there that I wouldn't like to see in the public, but at the same time as well, we have to understand that success don't come overnight. With Swallows, the journey was incredible when we won promotion. The first season we finished 6th, and people were complaining about the draws. Then second season, we went to the semi-final of the MTN 8. Then the first loss against SuperSport, I got placed on special leave or suspended or whatever. But it was my first loss in the second season, and the red flag started going up. Coach was then brought in, took over the team, conceded 12 goals in 3 games, and then I was brought back. And yeah, first loss against Chiefs, I got given the boot. Amazulu, it was a short-term goal of wanting Benny McCarthy came in and did a fantastic job. And it was always going to be difficult to replicate that. But I think we started off well. I think when I took over, there was 8 games left. Amazulu was in 12 from the 8. I won 6 and qualified for the top 8. And then top 8 again semi-final. 1-1 against Chiefs away from home. Coming back, I lost against Richards Bay last minute of the game, and then got a boot immediately after the game. But yeah, and then they employed a coach, and then everybody's saying he took the team to the final without scoring a goal. So yeah, so I don't understand sometimes how the owners or the media look into the stats and see these things. But for me, I just have to stay focused and keep on working.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to have the last round of questions. I'll start here with Mashatsi. Noted Temba. I'll take one more if there are any hands. Okay.
Coach, when you were responding or talking about Gamu, you speak very highly of the guy, of how professional he is and stuff, and you also said something, the level of professionalism in him is something that you don't see much in South African players. I want to ask you that maybe also, isn't it that part of the problem are coaches and club officials who most of the times defend our players who do wrong things, you know, like an example, players for taking drunk, stuff like that. You guys defend them too much. Isn't that maybe part of the problem, where you don't expose them so that people must see them for who they are and, you know, try to force them to be professional?
I hear you on that one, but at the same time, as coaches, we have to protect the players as much as we can. Ultimately, without the players, there's no game. But having said that, continuous trespasses in 10 yards, they will get reprimanded. But I'm not saying Carmo alone. Villa as well came in. It's a very good level of professionalism. But for us, protecting our players, we saw Rulani as well, refusing to comment on certain issues that was in the media. We have to protect as much as we can, because ultimately you want players to play for your coach, for the coach and for the club as well. So I think as owners and coaches, we can only protect so far. But for throwing a player under the bus and throwing his laundry out in public, the next player might think, hey, next is me, and this coach don't care about us or anything like that, because listen to what he's saying about my teammates. Players are close. They are like brothers. They are family on the pitch. So, and this let's say the revolt starts in the cloakroom, and this where the divisions comes in between technical team and the players. For me, and just yesterday we had a meeting about respect, because players ultimately as adults, some of them as families, as family men, they are fathers, they are providers to the families as well, and we have to respect that and treat them accordingly. I think any senior player being treated as a child or undermined or disrespected will give the same back.
All right, last question, Temba. No, sorry. We'll give you an opportunity.
Coach, I'm just looking at, in an ideal world, Sekhukhune would be a top 3 team, looking at the material that you have, the playing personnel, and with you being there, it has actually given a glimmer of hope to the followers and probably the management, hopefully. What is it that you think is short to make Sekhukhune a challenging team, not to actually taking away the fact that you are still in the Nedbank Cup, you're still there for the taking? What needs to happen for Sekhukhune brand to just shoot up and contest? Because when it comes to players, they can match any other team in the PSL.
I think the owners are mindful about it. From the chairman as well, it's for him. The message from him to us was it's a 3-year project, but he says let's push it to 5 years. So I'm happy about that, and hopefully I'll stick around. And still do. But saying that, right now for me personally, this is my opinion at the moment, is that Sekhukhune has registered 53 players this season. Right now we are dealing with the squad about 35. I think for the quality to come out, we have to get rid of the quantity that is there. For a coach to succeed and to keep the competitive level on training, it has to be quality. The intensity needs to be right. And once it's a bloated squad and you have to try and keep everybody happy, the focus gets divided. And at that moment, you will have a disgruntled group, about 10-15 players on outside, and then you'll have about 20 players that you're working with at the moment and focusing on. And I think that's the difference, being a human being and wanting to keep everybody happy as much as you can. I think the focus gets shifted from the coach. Our technical team is not that big. It's a very good technical team as well, but at one moment our focus is not entirely on the whole group. And I think squad management, breaking it down to quality and not working with quantity, I think that will really so what Sekhukhune is about. At this moment, it's about managing that whole squad. But the players are reacting to the tactical flexibility, the tactical plans. I have the Zambian captain in my team. I have the Ivorian #1. I have internationals. I have former Bafana players at my disposal, players who's won things in the country and has played CAF Champions League. So it's a squad full of talent, full of potential, full of material that can actually win things. But when I took over, it was in 15th place. It was a team that was low on confidence. It was a team that had a structure that didn't justify the type of football they were playing at that moment, and some of them weren't happy at all. So for now, it's understanding all of them, getting them to buy into where we are going with this project, and hopefully we'll get it right next season or the season after.
Okay, quick one, Benji.
Okay, Coach, mine is a quick one. I wanted to ask on the players, but because you have explained a lot, I just wanted to ask on the two goalkeepers. They are both international goalkeepers. How do you balance it? And the next one is an injury update. Who is available, who is not available?
Yeah, the two goalkeepers, Toaster and Badra, both #1s for the country. At this moment, Badra has the #1 jersey. He kept 2 clean sheets in a row. I think for that, he has to warrant his place in the next lineup. Toaster at this moment, it's a bit difficult. AFCON is coming. We had a meeting, we had a one-on-one about his situation at the club, but it's for me to manage, it's for me to keep them both happy, but hitting the business end of the league and in the cup as well, I think we want to take minimal risk, and continuity and consistency is going to be key for us.
Okay.
Injury updates, yes, Linda is still injured, the captain. He's on his way back. Vushinube has joined the list. We're hoping to have him ready for this weekend. Brandon Truter is still on the mend. And then, of course, also Nkabela is another injury concern for us.
All right, thank you very much. Let's end it here. Coach, all the best for Sunday.
Thank you so much.